Hello, everyone. I must welcome you all to our webinar series, The B School Insider, all you need to know about your dream school. And I'm your host, Kiyani, for today's webinar. So in today's session, our topic is IIM Indore, campus life, placements, academics. And in this webinar, you will get the insider's view of IIM Indore and find out all about the personal journey of the 5 panelists who have joined us today, from their CAT experience to the selection process at IIM Indore, tips on CAT prep and PI, the campus life, academic schedule and faculty, placement process at the campus, the kind of internships at IIM Indore, and more. So let's welcome our speakers. We have Prasanna Khare, he's PGP 2024, he's a current student. We have Udit Modi, also a current student, PGP 2024. We have Esha, she's PGP 2022. She's a consultant at DILR. We have Moin Bhutto, he's PGP 2020. He's an analyst at Accenture Strategy. And we have Bhavika Kiyani Manglani, she is PGP 2020. She's a project manager at Nomura. Welcome all of you, and thank you so much for being here today for this session. So let's start from your CAT score, CAT prep, selection process, and maybe a tip. You can start from your CAT score and what's your education, what's your graduation background? Are you from non-engineering or engineering background? How much and how many months did you prepare for? And was there anything in particular that you did to get success? So we can start from the current students. So Prasanna, we'll start from you, then Udit, then Esha, then Moin, then Bhavika. Yeah, Prasanna. Quickly,
Yes.
CAT score and your engineering, non-engineering, and your CAT prep. How many months? And of course, one tip. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Prasanna Khare. I am a chemical engineer from ICT Mumbai. My CAT score was 99.44 percentile. In VARC, I had 98 point something. DILR 96 point something, and in Cont I had 99 point something. So I started my CAT preparation back in January of 2020, and CAT 2021 was my second attempt. First attempt being in 2020, and currently I'm a PGP. I'm a 22-24 batch. So one tip I would like to give everyone is that you will have to be very consistent in your preparation. Whatever strategy, whatever study plan you decide for yourself, you need to be very consistent with it, and you need to be resilient enough to take failures in mock test or whatever you face.
Yeah, Udit.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Udit Modi, and I am also a mechanical engineer from Nirma University, and I am a fresher. So this was my first attempt itself. My score are 96 in overall, as well as I suffered very well in VARC. I able to score about 79 around, but my DILR score was very good, about 99 percentile, and on an average I did well in the quant also, around 90 percentile. So so I started giving mocks in the April month itself, but I was not very serious about it. But after going through my internship at Ford Motor, I get to know about various management perspective, and that's where I got interested into this field actually. And after my internship, summer internship there, I started preparing for the CAT very seriously, started giving mocks. In many of my mocks I suffered very poorly, scoring 2 percentile even. So it was very hard throughout the journey. But I think one tip I would like to give is, apart from the consistency, you have to focus on your strategy, how to able to prepare very good score or build a very good strategy for your strong section, as well as how you can able to surpass the weakest section, in my case VARC. So you should able to have a proper strategy in plan, because now it's almost November in the month.
Yeah. Udit, I'll come back to you for regarding VARC, because that was your weak section, and
Yes,
we will have a
definitely.
lot of questions. So you can think about all the tips that you can give to our CAT prep people,
Sure.
our audience. Yeah, Esha.
Yeah, so hi everyone, Esha here. So I'm basically from a non-engineering background. My graduation was in management studies. So I did my BMS from Jai Hind, and post that, I was a fresher when I joined IIM Indore. About my CAT score, I scored 92 percentile. Um, Again, my strategy was simple. It was mainly working so much that I can, pass the sectional cutoffs in every section and then leverage your strongest section. So mine was DILR, of course.
Mm.
And yeah, so as I think Udit also mentioned, strategy and choosing the right questions, right? So if you're not sure of the questions, don't let negative marking get you
Mm.
there. But yeah, choose your questions wisely, and I think it's good to go.
Yeah, okay.
Strategy is
So
important.
yeah, so I'll come back to you on DILR.
Yeah.
Okay, Moin.
Hi everyone, this is Moin. So I'm a I have an engineering background.
Mm.
Also, I had a 3 year of work experience before joining MBA, and my credit score was around 98.1. And I would say that I started preparing 2017. Then I gave second attempt in 2018. So that's when I cleared the CAT.
Mm.
And the thing I noticed, which I lagged in first time, was I was not reviewing the mock test that I was giving. So the tip I have is when you give a mock test, do plan a day where you invest 6 to 7 hours analyzing each and every question which went right and which went wrong. That's
Okay.
something will surely help you, because once you solve the questions, you started preparing for the next mock. But before analyzing the what went wrong, uh, you will not you will see the benefit if you try to do that. So just
Mm.
that's a tip from me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Bhavika.
Sure, Kiyani. So this is Bhavika. I am an electronics and telecommunication engineer, and back in 2017, I gave my first elective CAT. So my score was 93 percentile, and DILR and Quant were my strongest sections. And one tip that I would like to give is, I think all of us have talked about mock tests and how important it is to analyze. But I'll say it is very important to analyze the questions that you've done correctly, just in order to understand if there's a shortcut that you've missed, or there's some strategy or time management technique that you can use and save time and then move on to the next question.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a small tip from my side.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you, Udit, can you give, say, a few tips on VRC? Maybe, yeah, something very specific and something that is okay. Our attendees are also the people, who are taking CAT next year, and also the ones, who are taking this year. So obviously, for this year, I believe, it's too little time, but yeah, you can still think about, what for them right now at this stage, if they have this weak section in VRC, what could their strategy be? Okay. So Udit, yeah.
Yeah, for this year, Cat, I would say that it's yes, really a very short time because only 1 month approx is remaining for them.
Mm.
But yeah, definitely reading is much essential for you to crack the VARC part. And also apart from that, you have to particularly choose and pick a particular questions from a passage. So if it's
Mm.
you read a whole passage, you like that passage, and you
Mm.
are absolutely going to do 4 to 5 questions from that, it's not a compulsory thing to do. If you can skim through 3 easy questions and maybe let go 2 of the hard question in that passage. So
Okay.
that was the strategy that I finally planned during last year. I basically run for the very easy RC passage, then started doing the para jumbles and the odd man out, that VA part, and after that I again came back to one of the VA question. So
Mm.
that was sorry, for the RC question. So that
Okay.
was my strategy on how you can build up the thing, so that if you are able to do one of the easy RC,
Mm.
you kind of build that confidence in yourself that yes, something has been done by you. You're not at least going to fail on that particular section. After VA, you again come to the RC part, whereas your the confidence level would be slightly increasing as you go on doing the things. And
Mm.
as I said, you have to consistently read on the thing and able to understand what the author is trying to say instead
Mm.
what you conclude from the passage.
Mm.
So that's what my problem was, that I tried to understand something different from what the author was going to say. So
Mm.
basically stick on your what the author is trying to say. The speed reading kind of helped, but in my case it didn't help much. So I solely focus on understanding how the passage is going through, and you should also try to find out what kind of passage you like. So someone may
Okay.
like the psychometric passage, or someone like something of a history, someone like something very generic or very technological. So you should able to understand which type of passage you want to bang upon. And also in our case there were 24 question, which was highest among all the section.
Okay.
So do not get nervous because it is the first section. So do not get nervous or intimidated because it's your first section. You have to attempt it as per your strategy, because each and everyone has their own strategy. So build up your strategy. You still have around 1 month. It's enough for you to do, and try giving more mocks as is possible.
Okay. Okay. Esha, DILR.
So for DILR, it was from my point of view, it was that every set that you're going to come across is going to be something different, right? Because it's something like quant, it's like if you've solved problems and something like that comes, you can relate, like it's familiar. But with DILR, it's very different. So my suggestion or my strategy used to be like, you spend 5 minutes on a set that's either feels similar to you or feels easier, 5 to 7 minutes. But when you realize that you can't solve it, don't spend more time, don't go on stretching it, just move on to the next set, right? Some people in that thing that, I can crack it, now, I've spent so much time already, you tend to spend more time. So don't do that. If you realize in 5-7 minutes that you cannot, just move on to the next set.
Okay.
That's so manage your time in DILR, and other than that, every set is different. So it's just logically try to solve it with the data points that are given. Start with that and be very like arrange it well, right? If you're using that thing, you're doing it well, so there are good chances to crack that set.
Okay. Okay. So we'll come back to more questions on CAT prep a bit later. So Prasanna, can you talk about your PI experience and one tip? Udit, after that, after Prasanna, Udit, then Bhavika, then Esha, then Moin. Yeah.
Yeah. So my interview experience was quite average, I would say. So IIM Indore typically tests you on some of the basics, whether you know them or not. So I was asked that sum of first and natural numbers is n plus 1 by 2, and they asked you have to prove it now. So it is a very simple thing, but it is something they are testing you, whether you know at least this much or not. Other than such basics, you also need to brush up on your academics, whatever you have done in your UG. If you have work experience, then you need to know the nitty-gritties of that also. So I was a fresher, so I wasn't asked about job experience. And lastly, there would be questions on current affairs, etc. So current affairs, it's quite dicey. Sometimes you know it very easily, sometimes you have no idea about it. But that is something which is going to happen. So you just need to try to read as much as possible after CAT, that is, definitely not now. So after you finish CAT and all other entrance exams, you definitely need to start working on current affairs, GK, etc. So as a whole, it was a good experience. I obviously wasn't able to answer all questions, but still I got in. Yeah.
Okay. But were you having work experience before IIM Indore?
No.
So you were also a fresher, or
Yeah,
you were also a fresher? Okay. Udit, your PI experience.
Yeah, on the similar line, I also had
And
two
a tip.
panelists. The one was very heavy on my acad part, because again I am a mechanical engineer, so they were asking about the various concept of the mechanical engineering, like pumps and some equations. So, and other one was very keen on identifying whether I am able to understand the basic stock marketing. They also tried to give me the extempore, which was people are losing money in trading and doing suicide. So the government should completely ban it or not. So what's my point of view regarding this? So I think IIM Indore is very keen on asking such extempore topics. So I would request all to prepare much on the same, as well as the academics part is also there. I also do not have any work ex, so no questions on that. But yeah, Russia Ukraine was very recent on that time, so they asked many questions on them about my point of view, India's point of view, or the US's point of view. So you should able to know the point of view of everyone.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Bhavika, PI.
Yeah. So I was asked questions related to my cats because I was a fresher back then. And then post that we had a little bit of current affairs, extempores. But a few quick tips. One, I think in any interview, like the personal interview that we give for IIM Indore or any placement interview, if you're given a case study or any question that you're looking at, they're not looking for an accurate answer. They're rather testing the approach that you're going to follow. So I think one important thing is focus on the approach. Don't focus on getting the right answer. Second, I would say, for example, there might be instances where we don't know an answer. So I think let's not bluff. Let's put it straight out there that I'm not sure about this, but according to me, this X or Y might be the answer. So I think the panelists help you in arriving at the right answer. They might give you a small hint, or they might tell you that this is related to X. So how do you arrive at Y? So I think that helps, and that is how they'll test your approach and help you arrive at the answer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Esha. And then Moin. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, even I was a fresher, so it was a similar interview experience for me. Other than, so my extempore was actually based on something on my resume. So one tip would be know your resume very well, right? Be prepared to talk on any point they can pick up from your resume. And be elaborate with that. Like they should know that, okay, you know, you're not trying to make up something from your resume at that point.
So were you asked something from management?
No, so my extempore was based on my hobby, right? So it was on reading. So technically, before going, obviously, I had a few other experiences from people, and they were like, it's all current affairs. And suddenly, for me, it was based on my, extracurriculars. So I was like, okay, so just be prepared from all points of this thing. And as Bhavika mentioned, I think be very sure of what you know and what you don't. So if you don't, just don't hesitate to say that you don't. It's okay. I mean, they know, but be confident. Don't try to think at that point of time or be conflicted in your mind.
Correct. Yeah. Moin. Also, Moin, you had work experience before.
Right.
So you can. Okay. One person is there.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
So mine was a mix of acad, work experience, and current affairs. Both all the three things were asked. So initially it started with acad. They were asking simple question: what is the formula of triangle and prove it? So that sort of question also comes under your bucket. Then it was majorly on my work experience. I had to describe what I did. Then they asked the basic question: why MBA? So I had to justify that thing with my work experience, what I was lacking and all. Then they further grilled on my work experience, said that you can do this thing already in your job. So that sort of rigging will be there. They will ask you to justify why you want to do MBA after say having 2-3 years of experience. You can continue there. And further, based on my work experience, they did ask me to develop do some analysis on some technical side only. So that was also be done. Then lastly, then it was followed by current affairs. I would say do read newspaper in last 2-3 days also, because that's something they also pick, because we are too busy in preparing other things. We don't read the news in last 2-3 days. So for me, one of the articles was asked from just one day before only. So it could also help you.
Okay. Let's take some questions now. Okay, Bhavika, this is for you. As Bhavika said that we need to analyze our correct questions and see for the shortcuts, but there are so many questions and so many shortcuts which are hard to retain. So what should we do in that case?
I think the best one, I mean, it's a very subjective perspective. I would say that the best one that suits you, if you think that X method is something that you're comfortable with, so I think you should keep following that. And when you keep following that, that will decrease the amount of time that you will take to answer the question. And like I would say the best one that suits you.
Okay. What should a person do who is able to attempt 10 to 12 questions in quant section during mock, but is able to solve almost 15 to 18 questions during analysis on their own? Prasanna, can you take this question?
Yeah, this is precisely why CAT is an IQ based exam. So it is not just how much you can solve, it is also about how fast you can solve. So this is a common situation that everyone faces. So when you are analyzing it after the exam, you realize कि ये तो easily solve हो रहा है exam में. Yeah. So in such a situation, what you can do is the remaining questions which you are able to solve, you should try and check that if you would have left some other question and you would have solved these particular questions, would you have increased your accuracy, or could you have solved another extra question? You may have taken 5 minutes for one very difficult question. You may have gotten it right, no doubt. But in those 5 minutes, you may have found out some other 2 easy questions and gotten +6 instead of +3.
Right.
So this is the only thing you can do while analyzing. Just try to find out how fast you are able to solve the other questions also. If you have taken 10 minutes to solve something while analyzing, then again there is no point in it. You can't solve it in an exam.
Right.
So this is all I would like to say about.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next question is for Moin. I'm from computer engineering background and currently working as data scientist as one of the top fintech company. But at the same time, I'm passionate in the finance and business. My confusion is to pursue an MBA from a top tier institute. Will that help me to go up the ladder in the same field? Do I even pursue an MBA or not?
Okay, so when you enter into MBA, both the streams are open to it. The companies that come for those are data analyst roles are also offered in the campus. Even for finance side, you also already know that there is investment banking role, other corporate financing role. So different sort of roles are there. So if you are a data analyst right now, even so, if you do an MBA, it will surely add up to your like level, because if you stay here at, you'll be at UG level, but at some time in, say, if you're working in an MX also, you need some managerial level, right? So at that time you will be required to have an MBA degree. Without that, it will not work out. So yeah, you can come to IIM, you can flourish in data analytics. A lot of roles are offered in data analytics.
Okay. So now let's move to the next section, which is all about academics at IIM Indore. So in this, there is already a question about that from the academic section. So I'll just start with that. Is being selected in a club in the IIM Indore easy or difficult? What things the committees test? Okay, this section I will be asking mostly the questions to Prasanna and Udit, because since they are still there in the B school. So yeah, Prasanna, can you answer this?
Yeah, so
yeah,
if we look at it, there are around, if you look at only clubs and committees, there are around say 100 PORs, positions of responsibilities.
Okay.
And there are around 600 students in the batch. So you can imagine that there is a 1:6 ratio approximately. So yes, it is difficult to get into a club or a committee, but and typically they are looking for quick thinking abilities. So there are multiple rounds of interviews. Each club
so all committees and all clubs are like that, or is it specifically for I mean a particular field or a particular area that the club operates?
Every person can attempt can apply for only one committee and one club.
Okay.
So that significantly reduces our chances of applying to multiple places and getting at least somewhere. So typically these clubs and committees look for your quick decision making abilities, your thinking out of the box in the interviews, etc. So it is always a cumulative score of across all rounds, and there is also a voting round in the end.
Okay.
So you need to have those little bit of people skills, and people should know you a little, and all those things are required. So I had also applied to many PORs, but unfortunately I didn't get into any.
Okay. Udit, are you part of any clubs or committees?
Not about the club or committee, but about from this club and committees, there are also some fest or the events like IRAs and Utsaha. So you can also take PORs from the same. So more or less, Prasanna covered everything, but I feel that there are some prerequisite for some of the clubs like Equity. You should know something basic about the finance club as well as something more about it, so you can increase the chances of selection. But there are some clubs like Kalcom. So here there is no prerequisite. You have to generate the curiosity among the audience, and you have to show that you are passionate for this, for joining this club. So that helps in the selection process itself.
Okay. Esha, you were a part of any clubs or committees?
I was part of I5, the finance club, but similar to what these people have said. I agree to that. Like there's nothing, I'm not very sure of the other clubs or committees as such, because I know only of this one, but I think they've covered it.
Yeah, Moin, you were a member of any clubs or committees?
Yeah, I was part of strategy and operations club. I was also part of some chain reaction thing and all. So yeah, we do look into on the toes thinking. How can you react to a situation? Some background of obviously, but that thing cannot be changed in 2 months. But we do look into how can you handle a situation. We'll be asking situation based question in the interviews and how you react to those. So that's how it's been done. And I would just say also there are 100 PORs, but you have I5, you have Calcom, you have different Iris and all. So there are lots of PR which come in the later part of the stage. So don't be bothered if you don't get to a committee or club, you still have plenty of options coming your way in later part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bhavika, you were part of any clubs or committees?
Yes, Kiyani, I was part of the entrepreneurship club.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So I think few things that were tested was more about team management, people management, and then how do you ideate, how do you grasp people attentions and then push them towards, or probably just give them imbibe that thought of taking the entrepreneurial path.
Right. Okay.
But I think being a part of club, it was in all a good experience. Like any BOR that you get to work with a team, you interact with new people and networking and all that. So I think definitely we try and be a part of any club event or any company.
Oh, tell us something about the daily routine, as in how the time is divided between study and having fun activities. So Prasanna, you can take the first part, and Udit, you can add.
Yeah, so daily the lectures start at around 9 a.m. Each lecture is of 1 hour 15 minutes. Typically 3 to 4 lectures a day. So from 9 to 1:15 with 15 minutes break. And occasionally you can also have lectures after lunch, after 2:30 that is. So after your lectures are over, typically there is nothing officially scheduled, but that doesn't really mean you are completely free. You always have some sort of assignments to be done, some submissions, etc. If there is nothing, then obviously you have your own time. You can do whatever you want. A lot of scope for fun activities here. The infrastructure is very good. A sports stadium, indoor games, outdoor games.
Right.
Lot of scope for fun activities.
Yeah, but do you get enough time?
Yeah. So in the first semester, it was quite hectic because of placements and academics, so everything clashing together. But in second semester, it is quite chill in that respect. Okay. So after your lectures are over, typically you have the entire day for yourself, so you can very much enjoy and have fun.
Yeah, Udit, can you answer this? Can somebody perform extracurricular activities throughout the year without being part of a club or committee? And does it matter in the placements or internships and all that? I mean, does it matter at all? I mean, if you're not part of.
Yeah, so everyone do not get that POR thing, and definitely it has some impact in the final placement also.
Okay.
But yeah, you should be able to leverage your knowledge or experience using this POR. They are not just for the sake of putting it into the resume. So it definitely helps if you are able to leverage its benefit. And apart from that, as the person has said, we are basically free from after our lectures, but that doesn't mean that we are actually free. We do have to work on our assignments, but the main thing is the pre-reads before our class. So so this is not a general engineering class where you go and start learning what the professor is teaching. You have to take part in the class discussion, and for that you have to read the case for each and every day. So that keeps on increasing. Also, if you are a part of some club, committee, fest, you are going to work for that approx 1.5 hours per day. So it basically depends on how you are able to manage it. Some people do start their hobby, some leverage that hobby to a greater extent by playing, by in sports. There are many facilities available in the campus itself for the table tennis, badminton, and recently we had the IIT versus IIM competition for each and every sport. So yeah, so cheering up that people also takes a good amount of time from you.
Okay, all right. Are there any exchange programs in IIM Indore? Who would like to answer? Moin, you would like to answer? Or Esha? Yeah.
There are exchange programs, but I think those who like gone for it would be in a better position.
Yeah,
I haven't.
anybody gone for Moin?
Yeah, I can talk about it. I haven't gone, but I can talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
So every year around the top 100 to 150 students based on the first semester CGPA get a chance to go for one semester, that is in term 5. So based on the term 1 GPA, in term 5 you can go to abroad universities. And so I don't remember the exact names of the universities, but they are in countries such as France, Germany, Belgium, Australia, New Zealand, etc. So these are the countries which you can go to, but it's largely dependent on which university you are getting. If if you're going with friends, and you're sometimes even okay with going to say an average university just because you are going with your friends. So
yes,
that's a different fun altogether.
Okay, yeah.
It depends on you what you want. But foreign exchange program is there, and it is quite good in IIM Indore. So many collaborations are in place and already have been done.
Okay, all right, great.
Just to add on that,
yes.
You can also go in term 6 also. The term 4 CGPA is looked into. Also, don't think if you go for a STEP program, you get better chances placement. It's just for your learning experience. It has nothing to do placement. So don't be bugged on by that.
Okay. Let's take a few questions again. I have scored less marks in class 10th and 12th. So is it possible if I crack CAT, is it possible for me to get selected by IIM Indore? Esha, you would like to? Yeah, Prasanna, you would like to answer?
Yeah, so it is actually a difficult question to answer because there is no certainty as such. So if you look at the selection criteria, there is significant amount of weightage given to 10th and 12th standard scores. But still it's still dicey. You can't for sure say. So if I know it correctly, the CAT 2021 100 percentile didn't get a call from IIM because his 10th or 12th score was not that great.
Okay, I would say that, if you crack the CAT right now, of course, your focus should be to crack the CAT, get a good percentile. After that, you can, you cannot go back and change your 10th and 12th. So all you can do is, sit for all the interviews and try and make the best of it, because, there are a lot of people like that who have cleared and, who have got a good score, and they could actually get into one of the top IIMs. So don't worry about that. Just right now, just focus on CAT. Yeah. Okay. I think, that should be enough for the answer.
I can actually add on that, because the focus should be CAT, right? Don't think where you'll get a call from or not, because so when I look at my own profile, I think 10th I had like a 95, but 12th was an 84. I had taken science, right? So again, that didn't stop me, or that I didn't think like, will I get a call or not? Just focus on getting your best score in CAT, because even when in CAT, people do think that, will I get something about 92. So some people say you need at least a 95 percentile or something. I said, don't let that affect it. You focus on giving your best, and then see whatever calls you get, and then take the decision.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Which part takes most of the academic time, curriculum? Bookish knowledge or case studies? Yeah. How much of case studies are there in IIM Indore? Udit, you would like to answer?
Yeah, almost for every subject, apart from some mathematics subject or maybe some microeconomics, there are cases in each and every courses. So you are required to pre-read something about the cases, and you need to discuss that. And after discussing that, you came across one particular solution or a goal or a concept which you will understand. So it's not kind of a bookish knowledge. It's basically a case discussion followed by what conclusion you drawn out from that, and that helps to remember your concept basically in your mind, fit into your mind very permanently, because you have now experienced the situation of that person in the case study. So it helps you to remember the concept very easily. So it's not a kind of a bookish knowledge which we used to do in our engineering at least.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bhavika, can you answer this? How to make our profile more attractive?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're interested in a particular field like finance, then there are a few courses like CA, CFAs that you can, CFA and ISM exams that you can take up. But if you're currently in a stage, like if you're a fresher and you're not sure which field to go into, so I think you can start with some basic courses and get knowledge about fintech or digital marketing, few Six Sigma, introduction to Six Sigma related courses, so that you get an overall view of what the different fields are, and then that'll help you in understanding which one is of your interest. Okay. Yeah, this will build up to your profile, like that'll add pointers to your resume, and secondly, give you good knowledge to decide which one's system.
Okay. Okay. Let's move to the next section, all about internships and placements. And of course, there'll be more questions now for Moin, Esha, and Bhavika. First, let's talk about the summer internship. Prasanna and Udit, can you guys talk about the summer internship in parts?
I mean, our selection process.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So typically, so for us, the selection process was in term one itself. That is
Okay.
what made it so hectic.
Hmm.
So typically, so I got placed. So are you supposed to like tell where we got placed, etc.?
If you want to, you can. Otherwise, just talk about the process. As in, I mean, how much of
Yeah.
what do they look at?
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So your profile really matters over here.
Okay.
So once you get in, your CAT score and all is not really relevant anymore.
Okay.
So
Okay.
your overall profile matters. So for
Hmm.
different verticals, you need different kind of profiles.
Okay.
So for consulting, they typically look at profiles which are say an all-rounder. I'm good at academics. I'm good at extracurriculars. I'm basically good at almost everything that you can think about.
Correct. Yeah.
So for consulting, they look at this. Then for finance, they look at top heavy resumes where if do you have how much of a good academic scores you have in 10th, 12th, graduation, etc.
Okay. Okay.
For marketing, it's the reverse. They basically look at bottom heavy resumes. How much of people management skills do you have? How much of good PORs have you handled before, etc.
Okay, so but does the kind of internship you get at IIM Indore, does it also have any do they also look at not just your profile but also how you have been in the classes or in the subjects and all that? Is there anything?
Yeah, so in our selection process itself was in term one, so we don't have any GPAs,
not
etc.
much.
for
Okay.
us to know. So it's only based on your resume, what you have done in the past.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about the placement process at IIM Indore. Esha, can you take us through very briefly the general process at IIM Indore, the placement
Sure.
process?
So,
And then, yeah, you can talk about your own experience as well.
yeah. So general process is you have, the companies that are going to be coming, you'll have a list of them. You can apply to the ones that you're interested in, the roles that match, and you'll get like a short list. And then you have your normal process, which will be like either company specific, right? Could start from assessment tests, you could have GDs, you could have written assessments, and then you have interviews. Usually you have 2 to 3 rounds of interviews for companies. Personally, my process was also similar, but few tips regarding that was, so in terms of process was the same, but know the company well, right? Know what you're doing and why you're doing it, because in my, so again, consulting interview, so with my background, the question asked to me was why consulting and why Deloitte. So knowing that really helped. Other than that, again, as I said, know your resume well and what you've done. And basically, I think at that point of time, talking about the finals, what I experienced was more than testing, your fundamentals or your academics. They're testing if you know your purpose, right? Why you're applying to that company, or what is it that you have in mind. And being a fresher, it mattered more because someone with work ex would probably have more clarity about why they want to do this and not. So as a fresher, why would you want to apply here? So be very clear with that and open about it and genuine. So that would help.
Okay. Yeah, Moin.
I would
Moin, can you talk about your experience and how you also shifted? Your fields.
I'll initially add up on the placement process. I'll give you more details about
Yes,
placement.
please.
So the placement starts right away from your internship. Where how do you work in that internship? You get a PPO, placement offer. Right, so that's first step of placement. Now in second year, the placement happens in 2 phases. First is your lateral placement, and then is your other normal placement. So lateral placement starts in the month of say December, and the people who are eligible for them are people who have at least 18 months or 22 months, depends on the companies coming. So they are eligible for those placements. So the people with WorkX have a edge over there, but still there are few companies who do prefer freshers also, but majorly 90% is for the people with having work experience. And
Okay.
in those placements, the people who have already got a PPO are not allowed to sit. So that's one thing. Please
Okay.
take a note.
Okay. Mm,
Secondly, after December, the placement starts in January, where all the freshers and the people who couldn't get the place in the letters have the equal opportunity. But majorly, it's more skewed towards the freshers. Most of the
Okay.
marketing company, finance companies come,
Yeah.
and so the things are different there. And as far for me, I was more into consulting. So my experience was even I at summer internship I did in consulting. I couldn't get a PPO there. Then in December I got placed into PwC India,
Yeah.
and I can talk about prep if required.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then post that I did work for say 1.5 years in PwC. Then in March I shifted to Accenture Strategy this
Yeah.
year. So that
Correct.
has been the experience. And in consulting, what they look is a dynamic profile. You should have good grades, good work experience,
Okay.
positions of responsibility, etc. So it should be a balance of each and every sections. Even some
Okay.
people who don't have a work experience, but their
Mm.
academics will justify for that thing.
All right.
And it's
Okay.
more about case preparation, guesstimate. So those are the areas where they look whether you can think how can you resolve a problem, how you think. So that's the thinking process they evaluate more. So
Okay.
that's how it's there.
Yeah. Bhavika, with whom did you, which was the firm that you interned with, and then, your placement, your personal placement experience? What were the kind of questions that were asked? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I interned with the change management team in Namdara. So the role was more of like we played the role of a consultant, finance consultant for the
Okay.
investment
Yeah.
bank. So we had 2 rounds of GDs and a round of personal interview. And post that, I did my so during my internship tenure, they gave us, so the first week was more about the trainings. They gave us an overview of how an investment bank works, what are the different projects that we're working on, and what are things going on in the different regions. Then obviously, then we had our own project that we had to deliver by the end of 2 months. So I think the very first day we were introduced to our stakeholders, so that was very smooth. And then apart from the project, they gave us other deliverables, like all of us were allotted a single case study, which we had to work on. And the motto of it was we go and interact with people on the floor, understand what is going on in their project, and that is from where we got our inputs about to resolve a case study. And then towards the end of the internship tenure, we had to present our proposal on the case study as well. So yeah, in all, it was a very good experience. And post that, I received a PPN, and I'm still working with Namira.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Okay, tell me something. If in case your internship was not exactly how, it doesn't turn out as good as you expected, and you don't get a PPO, does that have any effect on your placements in the final placements? Esha, can you take this question? And Bhavika, yeah, if you can answer.
Sure.
You got a PPO, so yeah, it was different. Yeah.
So I think Bhavika, if you want to go first, then.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think internship is like the trailer, and if you're not liking the role, or if you're not liking the company, the culture, or the workers, basically, or whatever it might be. So I think it's a very good way to analyze which is your stream of interest, and post that if you think that's not fitting you, then you definitely have to find placements you can prepare and then sit for the final placements.
Correct.
And yeah, I think it's okay. It's not like like the world that you don't end up in the dream company that you thought of in the internship.
Yeah.
And I think, speaking with experience, I've seen people who started with extreme post MBA and now they've changed their field completely. And I think that's a very open concept in the industry, and people are accepting it. So yeah, it's all about your interest and your will, which field that you want to pick up.
Right. Yeah, Esha.
Yeah, I'll add because my experience was different. So at the time I joined the school, I did not know, summers was completely in the first term, and I wasn't aware of the processes that are going to be there or well prepared at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got my summer internship was in a startup. So it was in this company which was in Kollam, and it was a gen man role. So it was completely different from what happened in my finals. But I think at the end of it, it did not affect that much. Like usually the ambition of every student is that, you get into your summers is into a good company and you are looking out for PPOs. But again, my experience was different, right? So even after that, when I sat in laterals, though being a fresher and even my summer internship was in the startup, so it was a role which was very generic compared to what someone would have in a big company.
Correct.
But still, that did not actually hinder the process, because they did dig into what kind of work I did there, but it did not stop the company or from like hiring as such. So I think wherever you are, even if it's a startup or whatever, focus on what you're learning and just put that out, right? So if there's something
Correct.
valuable, I don't think any company will just look at it in a bad way or negative way.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's take a few questions, and then we'll some of our speakers will be showing a few photos. I think Bhavika, you have some photos. Udit, do you have any? Prasanna has. Udit, do you have any? Okay. Moin, since you are joining from mobile, that's why I did not ask you for photos. Yeah, you won't be able to share those. Yeah. So let's take a few questions. Is the bachelor degree marks very important? Okay. Who would like to answer? Prasanna, you've already
You
answered.
mean for the selection process or
Yes,
for internships?
I think it's for the selection. Yeah, it's for IIM Indore.
Yeah, so selection process does not have any weightage for graduation score. So for last year's data I have, so 40 for the shortlist, you have 40% for 10th standard score, 34% for 12th standard score, 6% for gender diversity, and 20% for CAT score. So no weightage for graduation, no weightage for workings.
Yeah, Prasanna has actually did his research and got the papers. Very nice. Udit, you want to add anything?
Yeah, but as he said that there is no much weightage or absolutely nothing weightage for the bachelor's degree. But yeah, you should have that knowledge about what you did in your 4 years or 3 years of studies, and you should able to convincingly take this or put up in a very convincing way to the panelist. Otherwise, they are not going to only ask you upon the work experience. They would definitely go into your acad path, like how you perform well, because it also matters in this summer placements also. We have seen that in our summer placement, many of the peoples were struggling because they have very low marks in the graduation part. So graduation marks still do not have any weightage right now, but you have to be you have to be have a proper knowledge about it, and you should able to at least have some clarity about what concept you have studied, not in the very depth part, but in at least in the fundamental way.
Okay. Yeah, Moin, this question is for you. Is it common for all disciplines to sit in the placements? Which domain gets maximum number of companies?
So placement happens day wise. So it depends on which day. So do you have day 0, day 1? Depends what sort of companies come early. So
do they have cluster like in IIM and all? Do they have clusters?
So so the degree you get is general management. So it's more on the electives that you've chosen, that sort of thing happens. Now it depends on day 0. Suppose you have finance companies, consulting companies are the major companies which will come in the initial days. And you can apply to any company. It's not a restriction that you can apply in consulting. If you are open to apply to any companies. And I would say it's equally distributed: consulting, finance, marketing. Maybe product management is something very few. I would say 5%, but major chunk is being taken by marketing and finance, followed by consulting, and then this product analytics, those things. So that sort of breakup is there. Bhavika, maybe you can add more since you have also been there.
I have a question for Bhavika. How and by when should we start preparing for placements and summer internships?
I think the day we step into IIM Indore is what we start hearing about summer internships.
Okay.
When we have it. So yeah, we have like in hand of 3 months to prepare for the summer internship. So yeah, I think there are committees, like there's a placement preparation committee that tells you about different roles that will come in, or probably what sort of work you'll have to do. So those kind of things, they help you solve few case studies. They help you go through the group discussions. What sort of points should you put in? So yeah, I think within the campus, you'll get that environment, and then you'll automatically imbibe into preparing for the placements.
Okay. Okay. Now let's share photos. Prasanna, you can start, then Udit, and then Bhavika, and then after that, before we wrap up, we'll take up like maybe tips on cat and all, and maybe one or two questions. Yeah. So quickly, Prasanna, you can share your Okay. But while Prasanna is organizing the photos and all, we can take one more question. Oh, he's ready already. I think. Yeah. Okay.
So this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so this is a photo which is just outside my hostel.
Okay.
So there are actually two clusters of hostels which are there. My cluster is far away from the academic building.
Okay.
And
is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends on what you want really.
Yeah, but if you wake up late, then you have to run.
Yeah, then you are doomed. Yeah. Then you have to run all the way.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think Udit's hostel is relatively closer to it.
Oh, okay.
So the farther you get, the better the scenery gets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is
so
just
there are pros and cons.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Next.
So this is outside my hostel, and this is a picture of flowers. So you will find many different colors and different types of flowers in the campus. Very beautiful campus, and no doubt about it. Wherever you go. Then this is a view from my room at night. So my room is on third floor, so no problem of sunlight, wind, etc. Then so this is the path I have to take daily while going from my hostel to the academic building. Then this is a view from one of the classrooms. So this classroom is like the topmost point in the campus. So the academic building is at the topmost point, then some hostels, and then at the lowest level there is the girls hostels and all.
Okay.
Then this is a picture of the sports stadium. So
nice.
You will see
pretty huge,
playing.
pretty big
huge.
space. Yeah, pretty big.
You'll see playing cricket here almost. You will see people playing cricket here almost daily. And the recent IIT versus IIM football matches also played here.
Okay.
So I think that's it.
Yeah. Who's showing this video? Were you showing?
No, that was
okay. Yeah, Udit. Next. You have to stop sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the musical park. There are spiritual park also available in the acad block itself. So this is my best play to have some chill environment for the relaxation.
Okay, nice.
This is the morning view from the terrace of my SR, student resident. So it's a morning view and it's very beautiful. It's around 7:30.
This looks very green. Prasanna, his campus also, his hostel also has good views. It's closer. It's closer to the
Yeah. That's the only benefit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the view from the SR inside, how it looks. And again, this is the night view.
Moin, Bhavika, Esha, you guys must be feeling a little nostalgic, no? Looking at all these photos of the campus.
Again, this is the same ground that Prasanna showed. So this is from a different point.
Nice.
This is not taken by me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This
very
I
nice.
Borrowed from some of my friends who are very expert in photography.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, this is the boundary wall of IIM Indore.
Okay. Nice.
And this is the very recent IIT versus IIM volleyball match. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, Bhavika.
Shall I just share my screen?
Yeah, Vaishnav, Raju, we will take your question in a bit, right after Bhavika is done with her photos.
Okay, so I'll take you directly into the classroom. So this is how our class looks like.
Oh, nice.
And we have name tags for everyone. So, yeah. This was a club photo shoot that we had.
Oh, very nicely taken. Yeah. Very MBA, very management.
Yeah.
Suited up and all. Yeah.
This is from the Ganpati festival that we have. So So back in campus, we had a thing that, for example, all Maharashtrians organize the Ganpati festival and then followed by food. So all of us come together and celebrate different festivals. For example, you get to celebrate a North Indian festival that I haven't been a part of. So I really
Yeah.
this is from the Himalayan Outbound program that we term 5, pre-COVID. So yeah, this was so we had to we went about 12,500 feet above, and it was a really good experience. So this was an outlet, Juices and More, called as DAM. So we inaugurated this, and towards the right you can see a few professors, and on the left you can see the.
Was this your rural immersion program?
No, I just come to that in a bit.
Okay.
So this is within campus. So so the entrepreneurship club had come up with this outlet. So we had inaugurated it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is the rural immersion program.
Correct. Prasanna, you guys are going, right? Next week?
Yeah, we are going tomorrow itself.
Yeah, tomorrow. Oh, okay. Busy schedule. Yeah.
And this one is from the section wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take those were very nice photos. Thank you, guys. Okay. This question is 95, 80. GEM, NIT Electrical Engineering, 2024 graduating. Okay. What is the minimum percentile needed to get an Indore call? Who would like to answer? And that was very specific. Yeah, Prasanna, would you like to answer? 95, 80.
Yeah, so 95 means you have a very good chance, but quoting an exact percentile is not beyond any of our capabilities.
But
so
they have a chance?
Yeah, definitely. 95 is a very good profile, and their major weightage is for 10th and 12th standard only. So that's a good profile to get a call.
He's graduating in 2024, so he has lot many time to prepare for the GAT.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's take. Okay. How does the calls of different rounds come? Does it come via email, or we have to keep ourselves involved on the websites of each IIM one by one? Who would like to answer? Moin, who would like to answer?
So yeah, it comes in the way of email only.
Okay.
You can get your result on website, but majorly you get communication on your mail. Also, what's your date and all. So those things happen. Maybe some change might happen. You will me answer. It was a long back for me, but for me it was through mail only.
Okay. In which year we have to start the preparation for CAT if I am very weak in math? As in, if you can give a timeline. Prasanna, would you like to give a timeline?
Yeah, so if you are weak in maths, then it basically boils down to the fact that you are probably slow in picking up concepts and slow in picking up how to solve a particular question. So I think you'll have to start preparing from the basic concepts which are there in whatever syllabus, etc.
So basically a year, one should keep 1 year?
Yeah, it also depends on how fast you are able to grasp it. So yeah, 1 year is probably a safe amount of time.
Okay.
But you need to start from the very basics if you think you are weak at it. And then slowly you need to level up yourself.
Okay. So before we wrap up, can you all give one tip each on CAT prep? So Udit has already covered that. Esha, Esha has, okay. Udit, you can give a tip on DILR preparation. Esha, you can give a tip on VARC. Bhavika, you can give a tip on profile. Yeah, as in if there are any certifications or something, anything that can add on their profile for now. And Prasanna, give a tip on CAT prep as in from now till the D-Day, what they can do. And Moin, what should they be doing on the day and on the last week of CAT? Yeah, okay. I hope you all will remember because I've forgotten the questions. Okay, Udit, yeah, you start.
Yeah, so as far as DILR is concerned, it's
Yeah.
more heavy on the LR part. So I insist that you practice more upon the logical flow that you keep on doing. So
Okay.
there are many places where people miss out 1 or 2 points, which is important in making up the whole framework. So if you miss that 1 or 2 point, your whole time, your energy is getting wasted, and you will get frustrated. So it's better you imagine all the scenarios. Like in our case, there were only 4 sets in the last year paper. So many people fumbled up because they never imagined that there would be only 4 set and they have to pick any two out of that four set. They thought that there would be much variety would be given to them. But you should able to see that the cat is all about giving you shocks, and you have to endure it properly. And that major shocks are always on the DILR part. So
Okay.
you have to consistently prepare it, and out of, let's say you get 5 set, you have to consistently look at how easily you can break down the set and which are the most easiest set. So it's all a game of pick and choose, and able to do right set. Again, as I said in the VARC also, if you are finding 1 or 2 question difficult in that set, do not stick to that set. You can easily come back to it later part. And also there are some DI set which are also sometimes very easy. You have to just do the basic calculation. So also have on an average focus on the DI also. So some people usually only focus on LR, some people only focus on DR. So have a good balance of both, but try to focus more on the logical part itself. And do not and if you, let's say, get only 1 set correct out of 4 or 5 set, do not get tense. Try to do good in the quant section at least.
Okay. Okay. Esha.
So
Yes.
I think for VARC, mostly again it's question selection, right? And again, that was the section even I struggled with. But what I used to do personally is, I don't know if this works for others, but there are some questions which will have, direct answers from the passages. So what I used to do is, for passages, first I'd go through the questions and then read the passage. And if I relate that, these are, because sometimes you tend to miss those, and those are like the crucial where you can be sure of the answers. So I would suggest read the questions, then read the passage and see if you find the answers directly. And if not, there will be sometimes where you think that, the two, as someone already mentioned, that two questions are very nearby or tricky. See if you can find something direct, or else then don't just mark it on your instinct. Leave it rather, because you don't want to attract negative marking. That's what I would do, but that's
Okay.
how it personally works for everyone. Has their strategy. So
yeah. Okay.
that's all.
Yeah, Bhavika.
Sure. On certifications, but I would suggest
or anything to do with the profile, as in, especially if somebody is a fresher. So, yeah.
Sure. So I think post-CAT, we have some time, like before the interviews or even after the interview is done. One, like given I was from engineering background, so I would suggest we can take up some finance courses, because when you get into MBA, it's a little difficult to go through the basics of finance. As in, you don't have the time, and it'll take a lot of effort then. So I think a prerequisite helps. Second, I think for all streams we have some basic courses that can be done. But apart from this, I would suggest that just don't focus on these streams. If there's something like that's your hobby that you want to pursue, you can definitely do a course on it whenever you have time, like post-CAT and like till the time you get enrolled. So I think you can do that. You can get it onto your resume, and that is a talking point, because they're just not looking at your intellectual levels. They're also looking how are you built overall. So yeah, those kind of things also help.
Okay. Yeah, Prasanna.
Yeah, so talking about CAT 2022, so approximately 1 month and slightly more than that left. So yeah, it may seem like it is a very small amount of time, but it's not that small. Okay. So you need to keep giving mocks, at least 1 mock in a week. And depending, and if your preparation is at an advanced level, then you can definitely increase it to 2 or 3 mocks per week. Okay. Every time you give a mock, you will realize where you have fallen short on. Either you may have fallen short on question selection, or you just couldn't find out. It was an easy question, but still you couldn't get it. Or probably there is some conceptual gap somewhere. So any of these things are possible even till the last day of the exam. Okay. So you need to keep working on all your weaknesses, whichever you find in your mocks, and keep practicing in that direction. And never stop reading for VARC. keep reading diverse content from diverse sources. That should be
Okay.
the step.
Okay. Yeah, Moin, also, when should be the last mock one should take, and on the day and the week before, what one should be doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
So before even mock, you stop thinking which college will I get, this percent, because you should be
Yeah.
focusing rather than getting on percentage. Then you start thinking the next step. So stop worrying about whether I'll get into college. First, grab that opportunity, then you start thinking about it. So for last mock, you can stop giving last mock, I think 3 or 4 days back. So that
Okay.
if something goes wrong, you don't get a good score. So it should not create a negative impact on you. So before 3 or 4 days, you should stop giving mocks. Rather
Okay.
than focus more on revising what you have learned from those mocks by analyzing. You must have
Mm.
prepared some notes and all. So just go through them, revise some formulas, whatever your strategies, just work on that. On D-1 day, I would say in my time, IMS organized a session where we came and we had a lot of fun. So get
Yeah.
into those events. Don't at least one day before stop studying. Just try to relax, go out with your friends, have good food. So just enjoy the day. Don't take the unnecessary pressure on the last day. And on the D day, I would say it often happens when the paper comes, you start thinking, oh, should I do this way or that way? So they see every person will have its own strategy. No two people will have same strategy. Whatever you have practiced, be stick on that. Don't try to change your study on the last day. Secondly, what would happen? DI section might come difficult or VA section might come difficult. So if you are not able to solve that segment, don't think my chances are ruined now. I will not focus on what it doesn't matter. No, it's not like that. Just have a belief. If you have prepared well, if you are not able to solve that question, it might be that other people in the room might not be able to solve the same question also. So don't reject yourself. I'm saying don't reject yourself. Try hard till the last question. You never know how much, even in 10 question, you might get 99 in DI, but you will never know. So don't keep, I've seen friends who ruined their DI and then they lost all hope and they blended in the con, which was very easy. So don't do that. At least stick to your strategy. People will say, "Nay, this is the right, this is the right." Also, while you're preparing for mock, please don't change your strategy in last 10 to 15 days. It's very low. Whatever you have decided, just go with that. Whatever any topper says, anything, don't follow his strategy because your strategy is going to be unique. So be on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a great answer. So that's all time we have for this session. And before we wrap up, I would like to thank all the attendees. Thank you so much for being here, for asking all those questions. And thank you, Prasanna Khare. Thank you, Udit Modi. Thank you, Moin Bhutto. Thank you, Esha Sheth. And thank you, Bhavika Kiyani. Thank you so much for being here for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiyani, for inviting us also.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Guys, we can connect on LinkedIn.
Yes, yeah. Also, in case some of you have questions, you guys can all these people are there on LinkedIn, so you guys can also ask other questions that well, yeah. All right, yeah. Okay. All the best.
Thank you.
All the best, guys.